Well, thank you. I hope Professor Nikita said nice things about me. It's a pleasure to be here. I had the opportunity to speak to the Hayek Society, I think, 2 years ago. Anybody here at that talk? One, couple people, two or three? Okay. I'll say different things this year, so in case you remember, in case you memorized that talk, I have new things to say. Well, I work with the Foundation for Economic Education in New York City, and FEE has been publishing a magazine called The Freeman since the 1950s and promoting this around the country. This is marketed to student public. We've got some seminars for college students at their campus in Irvington-on-Hudson, north of New York City, for decades. So a lot of Romanian students have come to week-long seminars at FEE in the summer. There were 10, I think, that came to FEE seminars last year, got scholarships to travel over there and attended the program. Has anyone here attended a FEE seminar in Irvington? No? Okay, well, I'll put the website up and you can take a look and see if you're interested at future programs. I've also been a speaker at Institute for Economic Studies Europe seminars. How many of you have been to IES Europe seminars? Some? Okay. They haven't invited me back for a couple of years, so I'm hoping to be invited back soon. Each year, I do workshops on economics around the country, but on economics applied to public policy issues. I've worked with speech and debate students who each year are debating a different national topic, a public policy topic. So this year, homeschool students, that is students that don't go to government schools, there are hundreds of thousands of them in the U.S., they have their own debate league, and they're debating U.S. policy toward India. The public school students are debating alternative energy, resolve the U.S. federal government should promote more use of alternative energy. So I've been giving seminars on the economics of those two topics. Last year, public school students were debating U.S. policy toward Africa, how America could improve public health in Africa. So my lectures last year were on Africa and economic development. But today, I want to talk about economic freedom and two terms that I draw from the India topic, the commanding heights and the permit raj. There's a television series and a book called The Commanding Heights. Have any of you seen that? The Commanding Heights? Some? Yeah, raise your hand if you've seen The Commanding Heights. Okay. I'm going to show, I think, one clip from that. Maybe more than one. And the core of The Commanding Heights is the idea of who should control the commanding heights of the economy, the major industries. And so we'll talk about that. But the core idea, one thing that I focus on a lot in my seminars, is the question of why some countries are so wealthy, why people in Mexico are so poor compared to people in the United States, why people in Latin America and Africa and India are so poor compared to people in Western Europe. Now, for Eastern Europe and the Soviet Union, communism was pretty clearly the reason. The economy didn't flourish under communist control. But for a country like India, for example, or Kenya, or Ghana, those countries in the 1960s had the same level of income as Hong Kong, Taiwan, Singapore, and South Korea. So why is it that medium-level countries, India had more people, but it had a pretty developed economy in parts of it. Why didn't those countries flourish? So after independence, in '47, India was expected to be the leader for development around the world. It was supposed to be the country that developed the most rapidly, was supposed to be a success story. Instead, India stagnated for almost 50 years without having much what they call the Hindu rate of growth. The economy grew at 3%, but the population grew at 2%, so it was like a 1% rate of growth, just barely getting it all. And that's so sad because people were optimistic in independence. So what happened? Why did those countries, Ghana, for example, and West Africa, from 1900 to 1960, the population in those countries in West Africa quadrupled. And over the same period, average income, average wealth quadrupled as well. And this was all under colonialism, and it was without much foreign capital.